Well, hey, YouTube. Gonna get you adjusted there. I could crop that out, but I'm not gonna. It's more work on my end. Good morning. Lady Mac XO here, author Chris McIntyre. And I don't have a spicy reading for you. I am not there yet. I just haven't had time to film it. It's ready to go. I'm behind. But in the meantime, I have a books I've read, which has been a little while coming. I think I skipped a month or two. I read a lot of smut on my Kindle when I went away to Jamaica. I didn't advertise a lot of that. There's something about trying to give a review for a book with like a woman who's being held captive by 3 aliens, and one of them has a two-pronged. So when there's 3 aliens taking her, it's like 4. You can look that up if you want. It's a Lily Allen book. I'm pretty sure it's called Captured. Anyway, I'm really excited for my new release. And I'm also really excited for the next couple of books I'm writing after because they are just gonna get darker. Another Woman's Sins is like the tip of the iceberg. But I keep trying to imply to people that Another Woman's Sins is not a shock value trigger warning book. Everything goes with the story. In other upcoming books, like this Beg novella I'm debating publishing next, it is all for the spice. I also have a hentai. Listen, when One Hot Tyrannosaurus Rex Summer became a bestseller, I realized that there is a niche for weird sexual shit, and I'm going to write it. I'm still going to write the other stuff too, don't worry. I have a spin-off from the Cuff series that will come eventually called Brandon's Story. However, I have taken a very strong dominant man and introduced him to a stronger dominant woman and turned him into a not so strong dominant male. So it also has sexual shock value. I have the 3rd installment of Celeste's Journey coming at some point too. I got a lot on the go. So, yeah, stay tuned for nasty smut. As well as all of that, I have other stuff kind of going on in the background. I am hosting some workshops. I am ghostwriting. I am content writing, copywriting, freelance writing. I am a writer for hire. So please check my website out and you can find out all of that. All right. Without further ado, because you guys did not come here to hear me ramble, you came here for books. I would like to share with you 4 books I've read in the last little while. They are an absolute mix of genres. So there's that. City of Bones came extremely highly recommended by hundreds of people on my TikTok. I have the series. I also have some of the other books in the series, but I have or other related series. I guess it's like Queen of Midnight and Lady of Darkness or whatever. They're like tied into this, but anyway, I own them all because I do. I own everything. I have an absurd library. Maybe I'll do a tour on that sometime. But I never read them. And I made a TikTok a few months ago, and I asked if I was to choose between reading the City of Bones or I guess it's called the Mortal Instruments series, and the Bridgerton series, which one would you guys recommend? And everybody was like, oh my God, Carissa, you gotta read City of Bones. It's the best book ever. So I read it. And I do know it's young adult, and I know I'm very hit or miss with young adult books. Like Hunger Games series, like incredible book series. The Divergent series wrecked me. Very few books have. Now I was like, my youngest was like a newborn still when I read that one book, the ending of the Divergent series, that absolutely like shattered me on the floor, sobbing like a fucking baby, inconsolable heartbreak for the ending of that series. The movie does not take the same route. So if you've watched the movies, you don't understand why I was so heartbroken. Anyway. So I'm going with this because I do love a lot of young adult. It's not necessarily that I don't enjoy young adult, but for some reason I don't know how much I enjoyed City of Bones. Please don't come at me. Please don't come at me. I'm so scared to post this on TikTok. I didn't hate it. I will read the next book. I think it's City of Fire. It's in my list upstairs. It's on my shelf. Let me tell you what I felt like while I was reading this book. Maybe it's just because of who I am. Probably. But I'm reading this book and I'm like, why does this feel like Star Wars? Why is this giving me Star Wars vibes? Like, it's giving me Star Wars vibes. So I'm reading and I'm like, no, like, just read it, Carissa, just read it. So I'm reading it and there's this like, there's a little bit of spoilers here if you haven't read this, but like, I feel like I'm like 15 years behind. So there's like a boy and a girl and they're developing feelings for each other and they both have really tumultuous families or they're like part orphan or like, missing parent, whatever. They both have really chaotic lives and they're thrust into a life together as the boy is part of this group that's like fighting things and the girl doesn't know that she's a part of this world yet. So now they're looking for her mom. And there's like a bad dad. He's like the bad guy, right? So then the boy and the girl start developing feelings for each other and then they kiss. Yeah. And then it turns out that they share the same dad, the evil dad. And then I can't. I was like, oh, this is Star Wars. Oh, good. And it's all like politics and war and goody. I know. I've watched Star Wars 800 times, you guys. I'm sorry. I couldn't immediately go to Star Wars. I struggled with it. I didn't hate it. But I've read like 8 books in between, like starting the second, and it's low on my TBR list. But I will read it and I'll get back to you. All right. Enough of City of Bones. I've now talked for like 8 minutes. Brother. Wow. Okay, now we're going to the entire other genre spectrum of books. Brother is written from the point of view of a man who is brought up in a family of like hillbilly serial killers. And he was kidnapped himself as a child. He's not even part of their family. It's a really messed up dynamic. His like brother is like more the like father figure almost than the dad is. And it's like I've very seldom felt bad for a serial killer. I have some big feelings for the guy in this book. It has a lot of graphic, violent descriptions. Trying to think of a good word for that. It's got a lot. And I don't even think it has like a trigger warning thing in here. Not that a lot of books need that. I'm just saying, like, I was going to pull it open and be like, oh, it contains blah, blah, blah. It definitely contains like grape and kidnapping and stabbing and all of that. So, forewarned. But yeah, I loved this book. Diary of a Haunting. I can't tell if these are... Okay, let me start over again. It's an interesting read. It's like wrote from the point of view of a diary, but also from like the priest that's like involved in all of it. And it ends weird. But you know what? I didn't hate it. I think I expected more spooky, more, it's Diary of a Haunting. The cover looks very like, oh, and then it's a lot of like mental, like, I feel like, did this girl just suffer with some mental illness? Anyway, it was an interesting read. I didn't hate it. I expected more. Perfect Little Children was an interesting read as well. Sophie Hannah. I think that's the only author I've given you so far. Cassandra Clare wrote City of Bones. Anaya Alborn wrote Brother. And then M. Verano wrote Diary of a Haunting. So there you go. Don't come at me. Perfect Little Children was weird. I really got the feeling of like it was going to be supernatural or like horror-esque. Not to give too many spoilers. It's a very like domestic noir. It's not supernatural. It's not like, even in the cover, it's like 12 years have passed, so why don't Thomas and Emily look a day older? And it's very hinting on, very hints on like a supernatural feel. The ending was weird. The way the book tied together was weird. I guess maybe it was supposed to do that. Maybe that was the whole twist, that it took off in a complete other direction and then just kept going as far as it could. I didn't hate it. It was wrote really well. The author can do a really good twist. Like, I guess I should preface this with, this was a really good read. I just didn't like it. It lost me 2/3 of the way through. I was like, oh, we're not doing spookies. We're doing like... Anyway, I liked it. If you like thrillers and kind of that like twisted, warped family and that kind of stuff, secrecy, it's a good book. It's definitely a good book. I just didn't like the way the story... I was expecting spooky. I guess I was kind of on like a spooky... City of Bones is not spooky. I was expecting spooky. It was not spooky. Don't go into this expecting supernatural. All right. That's all I read. I read 4 books in the last little while. I have since read like 3. So in September, I'll have a books I've read in August that will at least contain 3 books. Some of them are actually pretty good. I have so far read Midnight Mass. Yummy. I have read this book called Ugly Girls that I didn't really enjoy that much. And there was another one I really did like. Womb. So wait for my review on Womb. Or not. Some of you will not be able to watch my review on Womb. That is a splatterpunk. It's like when I read Playground by Aaron Beauregard. And the infamous page 42 scene where it graphically describes eating number 2, among a lot of other things. So, anyway, that's it. That's my book reviews for now. I promise the next video is going to be the spicy reading. I promise. Pinky promise. Myself, in case I break it. Alright, guys, that's everything. Go... read, go stay kinky, go outside, touch some grass, I don't know, whatever. Much love. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.